What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. Today I want to talk a little bit about trades in MLB The Show franchise mode. And this is going to be a tips and tricks video to help you guys that might be newer to the game or don't want to get too in-depth with your trading within franchise mode. This is more of a beginner's type of a tip, or it could be useful to those of you that need just a little bit of help with your trades within the game in order to, not spend too much time in the trading system, because you can really get down a rabbit hole whenever we're talking about trading within MLB The Show, from doing a player search and trying to find the best result that you can possibly get back in a trade, and scouring the trade block that is actually available out here for you, which is oftentimes not the best thing that you can utilize, because not that many useful players are necessarily always going to be out here on the trade block. From time to time you'll have some good players, like you can see Austin Meadows in this franchise is a pretty solid pickup. You'll see some guys like that out here from time to time, and you'll see some decent prospects and things like that, but it can be a long and tedious process to go through either the player search or go through the trade block or scroll through the roster on a team by team basis, and then sorting on a position by position basis, trying to find something that you want in a trade. Likewise, going into the trade system and selecting maybe a player that you want to give up, and then doing the suggest trade system can also be a little bit tedious, because again, it's going to have to find trades for you. You're going to have to scroll through a whole bunch of trades for a whole bunch of different teams, and you're going to have to compare those things, and you're not going to necessarily see what these players are looking like. So if I wanted to make this trade for Everson Pereira, for example, I can't see his stats right here. I know he's a 66 overall B potential. I know he's 21 years old, but I can't necessarily just go in and see what those players' ratings are. I mean, I can accept or decline the trade from there. Otherwise, I'm going to have to actually go into the roster, and I'm going to have to take a look at what those players are actually looking like, so I can see what their stats are and how they fit into my scheme, what I'm trying to do with the franchise, my team, etc. So there is a simpler way. There is a tip that I want to give you guys that you can utilize, a method that you can utilize to get a more effective trade system down for yourself if you don't want to spend all of that time diving into the different teams, different positions, different suggested trades, the player search system. You can really narrow it down to a couple of different things, and this process will help simplify it for you guys. And like I said, this can be helpful to just about anybody, depending on what you're trying to do, as long as you're looking to not necessarily be overwhelmed with information and not necessarily trying to spend hours looking for the perfect trade for your team. So the first step in this process that we need to go through is we just simply need to evaluate our team very quickly, and you're going to have the most knowledge about your team as opposed to other teams, and that is why this is the more effective way to approach a simple trading system within the game, and that is because you're going to know your team, like I said. So go in to your actual trade block and update your trade block. You're going to be able to evaluate your team from your roster page. You can potentially even evaluate your team from this page, and nonetheless, what you're trying to do, you're just trying to fill out your trade block with some players here and there that you wouldn't mind giving up. Could be some MLB level talent, could be some prospect level talent. Fill out this trade block, get that information done, and then also select which positions you're potentially seeking. So I'm going to go in, select a couple of positions that I'm looking to go after. Maybe I'm looking for a starting pitcher. Maybe I'm looking for every position, and I want to hear out offers for all the different positions. Unfortunately, you can only select 5 at a time, so be wise with which 5 positions you guys pick. But go in, edit your trade block a little bit. This will take you 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes if you're really trying to evaluate your team hard, and then we'll move on to the next step. And this is basically the most important step right here, is making sure that you have a trade block set so that teams can make offers to you based on what you are seeking as a team and based on what you're willing to give up. And then the next phase to this process is simply utilizing the trade system within the game. Teams are actually apt to send you trade offers more often than in other sports titles. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hop into the calendar, and I'm simply going to simulate forward to about the trade deadline. I'll try to simulate all the way up through the month of July, and I'm going to get trade offers from other teams. So as we simulate through here, and this is going to happen as you play through your franchise, as you simulate through your franchise, whatever you're doing, you're ultimately going to get trade offers from CPU teams. Now keep in mind, this is only going to work effectively for you if you guys have your trade block set and you have trade wants set. Otherwise, you're going to get far fewer trade offers. It's less likely that you're going to get these offers to come through for you. Like I said though, you can set those specific parameters to start, which doesn't take very long, and then you start moving through your franchise and you'll get offers such as this. So we're only about 5 days or so, 6 days or so into the simulation from where we started, and we're already getting a trade offer from the Braves. This trade offer is going to let us know some crucial information, and this is the important part about what I'm giving you in this video today. This doesn't necessarily mean that you have to accept the offer that you're given. So they're offering us a starting pitcher, 77 overall C potential for Miguel Sano, our right fielder, who we're potentially looking to trade. Now, this isn't a good trade in and of itself. So the important information here, though, is still going to be the team that is interested in this player and the position that they're interested in. So while I might not want that starting pitcher off them, I know that they're interested in my player. I know that the Braves are interested in Miguel Sano, and I know that they're interested in a right fielder. And that makes sense considering that they don't have a right fielder above a 66 on their roster. So that just instantly, without having to do much work whatsoever, let me know a team that is interested in the player that I'm looking to trade away, and now all I have to do is search for whatever player I may want off of that team specifically. Now, this is maybe the worst case scenario that you're going to get out of a situation like this, and you'll get quite a few offers that you're not necessarily going to want to accept from a team like this, because, you know, you're not going to want a 77 overall starting pitcher that's worse than pretty much all of my starting pitchers on the roster as it is. But that lets me know a couple of things. That lets me know as well, in addition to the fact that they want a right fielder, the Braves are the team that's interested in my player, it also lets me know that they're willing to deal a starting pitcher to get that player. So I could theoretically go after one of their better starting pitchers and then utilize maybe another prospect down in my system to quickly turn this trade in my favor and give them the player they want, and I get the player I want, and it takes very minimal time to search for and make this trade happen for your team. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate forward, not getting a deal done with the Braves, and see what other trade offers we're going to get. So we're going to get an offer here from the Rays, and they're now looking for a relief pitcher. So again, crucial information to glean right off the start. The Rays are looking for a relief pitcher. They like our player, Aaron Fletcher. That gives me a majority of the information that I need to know. Now I just need to find a player that I want off of their team. They're currently offering me Xavier Edwards, 23-year-old, a potential 70 overall, in return for Aaron Fletcher, who's 4 years older, lower potential, and really not that much higher in overall. This looks like an immediate win for me. The only thing to note is that Xavier Edwards here has a torn MCL, so he's out for 6 months. So we're losing out a little bit on player development time with a guy like that because he's injured. But nonetheless, I didn't do anything with this system aside from set my trade block, set up my team needs, and then go ahead and advance a couple of days, and this is the offer that I'm getting. So again, the emphasis here for this video is that all you have to do is these couple simple steps, and you're going to set yourself up for a very straightforward, very simple trading system where you're not going to have to spend a whole bunch of time finding the trade that's right for you. Instead, just set up your trade block, make sure you have the players on there that you want to send away, make sure that you have your team needs on there, and you'll very quickly find which teams are interested in your players, which teams are interested in the positions that you're giving up, and what position they're willing to give up and what they're willing to deal away in terms of value to get your players back. And so now I've found two teams, I can make two deals with them very easily, and those two moves could be major moves that change the course of my franchise. And guess what, guys? I was able to do that in the course of 5 minutes. Barely any time spent putting the effort into doing this trade system. Now, you're not going to min-max it, you know what I mean? You're not going to necessarily find the perfect trade every single time, but the benefit of this is actually that sometimes you can get more value back than you would just naturally looking for a trade on your own. If I went out and I tried to offer Aaron Fletcher to the Rays, I wouldn't be looking at a 70 overall A potential player back in return for him. Generally speaking, that value doesn't compare, but they're willing to offer that to me just by sending that trade on their own through the trade system. So the additional benefit to this, besides being less time intensive, less resource intensive, less effort intensive, is that sometimes you're going to win big in this trade system. And like I said, it's not going to take you all that time, effort, or resource in order to make it happen. So again, this is a simple, straightforward trading system. I hope that this helps somebody out there, especially those that have just picked up the game and diving into franchise mode. Don't overcomplicate it for yourself. You can get lost in the works, min-maxing everything, and waste a lot of time doing that if you're not experienced with it. And in reality, you can end up with a much better system by simply making sure your trade block is updated and you're going through these trade offers that the CPU is going to offer you, and just basing your trades off of that. Very simple, very straightforward. Like I said, I hope it helps somebody out there. If it does, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for more useful content. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you have a good one.